Assalamu alaikum, my name is Salim Siddiqui. And thanks for watching the HotConflict.com video series. And this is definitely the last section. Well, we said that we were talking about the great Eid festival of Muslims, and that all Muslims all over the world have gathered together and bow and praise the Lord Most High, and that they do so facing Mecca, where Abraham built the holy house to the Lord with his son Ishmael. And Abraham said, "Oh Lord, let their house be everlasting so that your truth always be known." And he prayed that from his descendants would be bearers of the light. And we talked about the whole tale, and we told the whole story of all of the fundamentals. And we said, as a Muslim, someone who understands and truly knows the story of the truth, a Muslim is someone who is submitted to the story of the truth and understands the light. And that understanding of the story is called Islam, and we always call the Lord Most High the light, because all of the prophets and bearers of the truth know that the Lord Most High is the light, and they all taught us that, and that is in the tale there. And we said that there is even something more amazing than that by our very own souls we had been gathered. And the Lord Most High took the oath from us. So I say something weird, is that I believe all of us have seen the light, and that is why we recognize the story, and the light shines within us. Because the Lord Most High made Adam and made him the greatest race, and taught us of all of the signs, that there are angels and jinns, and we should always remember to worship the Lord Most High. There is no graven image or statue or symbol that can depict him. And we have seen how mankind and throughout all time in history has always been deceived into believing many false ideas about God, but the truth of the Lord is that he is always known as the light. And as a Muslim, that is exactly what we believe, although, as I said, we're not talking about labels of Christians and Jews or Muslims, as all the labels at this point really no longer matter, because from here on out, everybody in the English language has now heard the tale from the beginning to the end. Oh, my Father, your prayer has been answered in a more beautiful way that you could ever have imagined. And oh, my Mother, I learned to speak your words, and this is a glad tiding for everyone who understands this. But we said the story has to be amazing, and I'm not going to tell you everything else that must come, because we've already gotten so far in the tale. And because all people who tell the story of the truth, if they are blessed with the ability as the Lord Most High has blessed me, it comes at a specific time of age in their life and various other things that we have talked about. And so if we remember the fundamentals, that all of the prophets came bearing that same message, and because the Prophet Muhammed is the seal of the prophets and the last of the prophets, he was given certain glad tidings that all of the earths are there for Muslims to believe in, holy and pure, and that the word of the Lord Most High must be preserved and everlasting, both as a great language of mankind, the Arabic language, and the most beautiful of communication in sound to the other races. And we've been through that, and in that there is a miracle. And we said if you understand the story, then the prophet was sent with a sign at the very beginning of the moon, that he split the moon as a sign to all those on the earth, but also to all those in the skies. And we said that all of the signs that we talk about and everything in this tale must fit perfectly, because this isn't a fiction. This is the true story of the beginning to the end. I'm claiming not that this is just one story. I am claiming that this is the only story that really matters, and that in fact every fiction and every show and every movie and every book and every tale that has ever been told by any of the sons of Adam are either manipulations or metaphors from this tale, or parts that Satan and the dark side have manipulated us into believing falsely about our true story, and that all of us know this story and recognize this story and have heard this story before. And so because we all recognize the story, we know that the last prophet was given some great miracles, and because he is the last prophet, he must have been able to tell the story that I told you, and he must have been able to do something else. As all prophets in the chain that we said were able to understand the story of truth and tell their people of the signs to come and the noble messengers to come and warn them of the calamities to come, I have given you a noble gift and a great thing for the first time in the English language, and I have shared with you the beauty of the story of the truth from beginning to end, and I have even shared with you the beauty of the most incredible secret, that of your own soul, and how beautiful that story is. But as all people know, if a moment like this occurs, and we mark this moment by saying that the land that had been marred by enslaving the son of Adam in this galactic struggle that we said is the story of everything, that one of the things that we must understand that as a son of Adam, we should have no will to any of the other sons of Adam. We are all from the human race, the greatest of race, that we have been given the word. And as I say, the story of truth is always how? The spoken word told to you as a story. That we get to the point in the story where we must realize that because all of this is by the plan of the Lord, that the final prophet must come with signs of what is to come in the future. Now, if I were to say, I'm going to give you a prediction that this will happen or this will happen, it would be of no use to you. It is only necessary for me to tell you what we as Muslims have known for 1500 years and tell it to you in a way that if it relates to the story, you must know that it is already true. You must know that it has already true, and you must understand why exactly it will be. Well, because I am being blessed to be able to tell the story that included many, many parts, I must remind you that the essence of this story, Daddy, was that the father of all of the faiths was Abraham. And he, of all people, made a challenge. He, of all people, made a challenge. Now, as I've continued to tell the tale, I've already shown you that the challenge of someone who makes or claims they are telling the truth is not to make a prediction and see if it comes true, is to prove that by your own most knowledgeable people, the knowledge that you have just received is no greater than the story of truth that I have just told. And I gave that challenge and showed it to you, and an amazing thing it was. Truly surprising when I saw the news myself that it was an evidence not just of this world, but of all of the universe, so that the tale that I told was really proved in a way that even I could not have imagined. But we said that as the final fundamental, all of this is the will of the Lord. And so the final warning, what does that mean? If I've been able to share with you all of this blessing, and we've said that the country has gotten to the point where they have raised to their leader a person who was their lowest considered of the sons of Adam, wrongly, as we have correctly described, racism. And so that they saw, even though beyond their racism, the truth of the light was seen in a man who strangely bears a strange story in his roots and lineage. He comes as a non-believer, following only Jesus, but not understanding the true story of the light. And he claims that we should all do better because we are in a situation of darkness. Now, the fact that we here in the United States are in darkness is no newsflash, and the fact that Barack Obama came saying change is no newsflash, but the crazy part was that he actually wins. That the majority of people accept that, yes, we are willing to listen to a man, even though he is black, because he speaks good words, and we feel that the words he is saying is truthfully searching for the light. Oh, Barack, one as noble as you should hear the story and do not deny the truth. I must make the challenge if we are here, because by the very sign of Barack coming to the earth, we have said that that was a good sign, a Barack, a blessed sign of good news, or of the truth that from the Prophet Muhammad would come someone of their lineage who would tell the story of light to them, to their own people, in their own English language. Now, the time for this to happen had to be set, and when Barack Obama came, now it was made known that the word of the light could actually be heard because people were willing to listen to someone if he talked to them in the right way. But the right way of the truth, I didn't know until I realized that it was to tell the whole story from the beginning till the end. And it is a blessed occasion, and it is a sign on this nation, or the Western Hemisphere, or all those who speak English, that you have been given glad tidings. Accept Islam and be saved. If you don't recognize the story of truth, you will surely perish. And that is the message of all of those who call themselves Muslim, have warned all of the greatest nations and greatest leaders. But now that you hear the story, it makes a little bit more sense, as all of you should be searching for the light. But I said, as beautiful as this tale is, we do have to remember some certain fundamentals. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything right now because the story has gotten long, and it is important for you to understand and recognize the truth of the tale from the beginning to this present day before we get to go anywhere into the future. And so I am saying it right now, please bear with me. I don't want to talk about the future right now. But there are certain things we must know and discuss, and certain things that have already been made obvious. We said because the sign of the prophet is that he is the last messenger, and that all kinds of people who came to bear the truth have been offered all kinds of evil things. And the greatest of leaders came to the Prophet Muhammad once he understood the story of the truth and said, we will give you money, we will give you leadership, we will give you everything that you want from this earth. Just please don't tell the story. Please don't tell the story. The Prophet made this challenge. He said, if you put the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left, I will not stop telling you this story. And so if I'm a bearer of the truth, I must tell you the same thing. Of course, I can't stop telling the story. The truth is the truth. It can never be denied. But we said that we must go a little bit back in the tale. If I'm to tell you the warning and let you understand that it is true, it must be a warning that when you hear it, you already know it. It must be a warning that when it's said, many of your people have recognized it. It must be a warning that is so great and grand that it is worthy of this occasion of me making all the bold claims that I have made. It must be a warning that is very dire. And it must be a warning that when you are told, you understand exactly that it will be and why it must be, because you have listened to the story of the truth. We said if we must understand the future, that we know that the prophet who came right before the Prophet Muhammad, we said that if you are a true believer in the light, then you know that every prophet is referred to with peace and blessings, and all of them bore the light. And Jesus, son of Mary, also bore the light. And we know that he told in the story of truth to his most noble companions that he was going to return, and that he did not die but would ascend, and he would return to live on at the end of days. In that there is a sign. And so if the prophet who comes after him, well, if Jesus is coming at the end, then the next prophet must be the final prophet, and we've already discussed that. So of course every Muslim knows about the return of Jesus and all the things that are going to happen in the future, but that's not my warning today. That's something that is already known to you. I say if we want to understand today's warning, we must go back and understand that every part of the story that I have told you has been about the cosmic nature of the battle of the light versus the darkness. And that the truth of the light is more powerful than any star or shining light or any misdirection of Satan. The truth of the story is of the light of the Lord. And that on this planet, once and for all, a man came and said, I want the Lord Most High to never be forgotten. That man was Abraham, peace and blessings be upon him, and he prayed to the Lord that from his children be bearers of the light who could explain the story, and he was blessed. And he was blessed with Isaac, and he was blessed with Jacob, and the sons of Joseph and Israel, and Moses and David and Solomon, and all the way down to Jesus, son of Mary. And then the light began to get lost. And because Abraham is so important in our story, and the one who maintains the truth, God said, fine, from this moment on, the light will be brought from the other side of the lineage of Abraham, from his noble son Ishmael, who bore the house with their own hands and built it to the Lord, and that house continues to exist. And this is so important in our story as you're continuing to listen. But when Abraham makes a challenge, when Abraham, the most noble of prophets, makes a challenge to the earth, I mean, I have made some bold and noble claims and challenges to the earth, and I have even proved them. But Abraham made some challenges. Let's go back and listen to the story. Abraham said, my Lord, because he understood the light, is the only one in this universe who makes life and gives life and takes life. None of the alien races could clone to a living person. None of the sons of Adam could clone a living person. In our modern day, we're debating these issues, but these issues have been answered for all time, if you understand. And go to the Jewish rabbis and they will tell you they tried to make mankind, but it didn't have a soul. Strange, I know, but listen back to the story. Now that you hear me saying about the golem back there, you think, wow, this was really one heck of a tale. And so we've continued to say that Abraham's challenge was being proved that the Lord Most High is the only one who gives life and takes life. And that Jesus, son of Mary, was an evidence and a sign that the Lord is the one who gives life and then ascends it, and at later times return him. And in many of the signs of the prophet were there to make you understand the challenge of Abraham, that the Lord Most High is the one who gives life and takes life. But now I'm going to tell you how it is that you should understand the warning that is to come. Abraham made a challenge on the earth. My Lord is the one who gives life and takes life. And since then we have been explaining the definition and the truth of that statement of our father Abraham. But I told you, Abraham made two statements at that very moment. He said to Nimrod, the foolish leader of the greatest of nations, he said, Nimrod, my Lord is the one who gives life and takes life. And Nimrod said, I could kill somebody or decide to let them live. Such foolish ignorance when you don't understand the truth of the story. But now you must know the warning, and I don't even have to tell it to you. When you remember the story that I told you, you know what I'm talking about. Abraham said, my Lord is the one who rises the sun in the east. Can you rise it from the west? I am sorry to give you the warning. Abraham said, my Lord is the one who rises the sun in the east. Can you rise it? Make the sun rise from the west. Of course, the challenge was put down, and Nimrod, the false king and false leader, as any false leader, cannot make the sun rise in the west. But as I told you, every part of this tale must fit. So now I get to the warning that you already know is true. That many of your so-called leaders perhaps have known that perhaps from the ancient times some Mayans might have calculated by secret knowledge and some stars that at one day a certain changing of the sun might happen. On the horizon, there are projects of people saying, we are trying to study the project of the horizon and understand what is happening to the sun. And there are those who are coming out with theories of pole shifts and weird changes and catastrophes to the earth. And some are suggesting all kinds of grand and strange things. I told you, if I am telling you the story of truth, every single part of it must make sense. And so Muhammed, because those of you who may still not know, is the final messenger. He was given the signs of the warnings to come. And the challenge to all of mankind that we stated when the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, came, Muhammad, you are the final messenger to mankind. Let all of the earth know it, so that the moon was split in half and then returned back to as it is now. Go verify from your own sources. I don't ever have to prove to you anything. I say go see if my story is true and you will find the truth. But we said in that there was a sign that was even greater, that the splitting of the moon was a sign to the other races. Because the final prophet is of the sons of Adam, bearing the truth of the light of the word, existence for all time. And so if you understood the story and understand the challenge of Abraham, where Abraham said, my Lord is the one who raises the sun in the east and sets it in the west. Can you make it rise in the west? Then now you know why the prophet has already told us, and we have known for 1,500 years and been warning all of our people in this story that we are getting towards the point where the sun will rise in the west. Because the prophet is the last prophets and all of the story must be true. And as I told you, everything that I mentioned in the tale has a reason. Nothing is haphazard, as the Lord Most High is the planner. The Lord Most High is the one who guided my words and let me be able to explain this story of truth to you for the first time on this planet Earth by the English language. Perhaps in the universe, the first time in English, well, at least in our galaxy, the first time the story of light has ever been spoken in English. I am marking it and claiming it. And I said of those people who believe that the sun will rise in the west is a metaphor, that someone will talk of Islam or Islam will rise, I am saying that even in the hadith of the Prophet is the qadr of Allah, and that the metaphor is true. And the one who has the honor of knowing that the sun will rise in the west, his name is Shamshad Siddiqui, and so he came here to the west and married from their people a woman who would speak the language. And he asked the Lord to tell them the truth by his son. And his son has now, by his noble prayer, been granted the ability to tell the whole story so that all of it makes sense and so that people could hear the truth of the whole tale and know the truth of their own soul, so that when they hear of the truth of Islam, they should recognize the light, and that when they hear, oh my Father, the story of the warning, it should save them. You are blessed with glad tidings of how much light and how many of the sons of Adam will be saved. As anybody who tells the story of light has no ill will for any of the sons of Adam, no matter what they look like. So the warning is there, and the prophet has told us. Coming and soon as I am telling you the truth of this story, but I am not a soothsayer who makes a prediction about dates. Go search the knowledge for yourself. But the warning is clear, and now you are being told, because the will of Allah is being made known to you, that coming is changes of the sun rising from the west, as the prophet told us, and with that will be changes in what happens on our planet, with changes in water that we had not seen since the time of Noah? All parts of the story must be clear. And so once and for all, mankind, listen, that for the first time on this earth, and perhaps in the galaxy, as the Lord Most High has revealed the sign of your scientists to know of the place of darkness, that you are being revealed in the English language to fight that darkness. There is a place of light on the earth. It was built by Abraham, a descendant of the line of stories in the fundamentals that we have told you. And he made a challenge on the earth, that on this earth, the worship of Allah, the Lord Most High, is not forgotten, and that the house stays till the end of days, as we know. But his challenge is the one that way he said, my Lord is the one who gives life and takes life. But his second challenge, he said, to the earth, the one that must be proved, because the statement of Abraham cannot go left unanswered, that my Lord is the one who rises the sun in the east and sets it in the west. Can anyone of the creation, from mankind or even the most knowledgeable of the alien races, change the direction of the sun? They cannot. Yet the prophet has warned us that this will occur. And it is now my obligation, because I have been given the story of truth from beginning to end, to give you all of it, to give you the glad tidings to receive the light and accept Islam, and to give you the warning for all of your people that this change is coming. And the signs of it are obvious to anybody who searches, and it should be obvious to anyone who has ever listened to this story. Don't deny the light. There are only simple fundamentals. If you want to find the Lord, seek the light. Allah, the Lord Most High, is greater and higher than any of his creation. Everything in the universe is made by the Lord. He has sent prophets in succession as a chain. He created angels of the light and the other races of smokeless fire, the unseen world, the other dimension, Jinn, aliens, however you want to term them. East and West culture has merged today for the first time, unlike history has ever heard. And a tale has been told of the fundamentals of the prophets and the books and the light, and that all of this will occur. And the tale has been given to you from beginning till the end, as the way every single messenger came before. And I am only a person giving a message, not of any newly revealed knowledge, but that which is in the final revelation, Quran, and the statements of our prophet that confirms everything in the story that I have told you. And I have given you the glad tidings of your very own soul, and I have given you the warning that is the burden that I must give in you. So I say now, if any of this makes sense, then search for the light and accept Islam. Islam being those who submit to the light, and a Muslim, as I am, one who is submitted to the light. And I tell you, to understand the truth, seek it out through your family and through the testimony of faith. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is only one God, and Muhammad is his messenger. He is the final messenger, and now you know why. Oh Lord, I must take the oath, as all bearers of the truth finally say when they complete all of the tasks that I have completed. Oh my Lord, let this moment, as you have marked it, been a witness that of the worst of my deeds, and as wretched a creature as I am, I was born of the sons of Adam, being able to speak the word, knowing the light, and my father taught me all that I know. That is good. And please, I say, as the most humble servant, every goodness that I have is from my parents, and may all of the blessings of anything I ever do be on their scale on the day of judgment. punish me for everything. But I already know, my Lord, you are more just than that. Oh, so I swear in this final moment, please God, Allahumma fashhad, Allah al-ballaghs, that I have given you the story and I have told you, if you hold on to the book of Allah, the Quran, and the messenger of his prophet, you will never be misguided. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.